The speaker is also on. So if you go down to the bottom and click on the little speaker, it has an X and it should have volume. One over to the left. See where the speaker is, click on the little icon. This one? Yes, right here. There you go. It's on. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, my hair is my
It's now, sorry.
We can
That was loud, yes.
Yes. Someone said yes.
Did anybody on Teams want to go ahead and speak? Or have a question?
We can hear you now. Thank you.
Well, that appears we can go ahead and move into action items then. The first action item on the agenda is first and second reading of ordinance 25-001, vacation of 60-foot by 220-foot public street, Cedar Avenue right-of-way, bound by 6th Street and 7th Street in Juris as approved in city file number vacay 2401 by city council motion on January 9, 2025. Do we have an update from Holly?
Holly says hi. But we're so pressed on the agenda to kind of get through stuff, tonight. I don't like to rush and everything, but I thought that these two items with the ordinances may go fairly quickly because the council's been intimately involved every step of this way. There are a few attachments here that aren't included because you've already seen them. Are we being, 5 times thicker with our things that'll all be part of the recording, like the staff reports, as exhibits. So that's not included here. Typically it would be, but you all have been so involved, in the process. So, as long as you're comfortable with what you're doing, and I can certainly help answer questions you have about some of the particulars, but Holly is available. We have to bring her in, for a question.
She's online. She's online.
Oh, I bet you she's the HB. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Holly's here. You have questions. Wonderful. Hi, Holly.
Hi, folks. Yeah, no report from me. The vacations have both been approved, so it's simply a matter of enacting the ordinances at this point. Thank you.
I do have a question. I noticed it says January 9th. We were not fully on council January 9th. It wasn't until January 16th. So I was just wondering if that could be possibly changed to be the right date that the council was actually fully active.
Yeah, that's in the recitals at the bottom of page 1 on the first ordinance. It's probably repeated at the bottom of page 1 on the second ordinance.
A lot of it I see is January 9th, not the 16th.
I see. But that's when the hearings were conducted?
The hearing wasn't conducted the 9th because of whatever reason. It didn't go through until the 16th. That's the only thing that I saw that was wrong. Other than that, I think everything looks great.
We can make those adjustments on both ordinances.
I don't know if it matters, but I just wanted the date to be correct that the council was fully here because the only council member at the time was the mayor and he couldn't have approved this by himself.
Correct. So we'll make that correction throughout from the 190 to 160.
Does council have anything else for discussion on this? The first ordinance? Okay, we'll conduct a second reading then. Ordinance number 25-001. I moved it. Very much. An ordinance vacating the 60-foot wide by 220-foot long Cedar Avenue public street right of way bound by 6th Street and 7th Street.
And like again, that's the only thing I saw was the date was wrong. Was this supposed to be the 16th, not the 9th?
So I will make a move to adopt ordinance 25-001, vacating a 60-foot wide by 220-foot long Cedar Avenue public street right of way bound by 6th and 7th Streets, effective immediately upon execution and recordation with the changes to the date.
I'll second.
We have a motion and an acceptance. Second, let's go ahead and take a vote now. All in favor?
Mayor, this should be a roll call vote, so we have to
Oh, roll
record it.
call vote. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Learning is occurring. Roll call vote, starting with Councilor Fernandez,
Aye.
Councilor Jesse Geddes.
Aye.
Council President Diana Barch.
Aye.
Councilor Wright.
Aye.
Councilor Rodriguez.
Aye.
So moved. Next one we have is ordinance number 25-002, an ordinance vacating the 20-foot wide by 200-foot long public alley right of way within blocks 58, bound by Cedar Avenue, Douglas Avenue, 6th Street, and 7th Street. Questions?
Nothing about the date changes to me. I think that's the only thing I really noticed on anything.
Same page, it's from January 9th. Any other discussions? Second reading, ordinance number 25-002. An ordinance vacating the 20-foot wide by 200-foot long public alley right of way within blocks 58, bound by Cedar Avenue, Douglas Avenue, 6th Street, and 7th Street.
I move to adopt ordinance 25-002, vacating a 20-foot wide by 200-foot long public alley right of way within block 58, bound by Cedar Avenue, Douglas Avenue, 6th Street, and 7th Street, effective immediately upon execution and recordation with the changes to the date.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote from Councilor Fernandez.
Aye.
Councilor Jesse Geddes.
Aye.
Council President Dan Large.
Aye.
Councilor Wright.
Aye.
Councilor Rodriguez.
Aye.
So moved. Next action item is a small city allotment grant acceptance for First Street improvements in the amount of $250,000.
Well, thanks, Your Honor. This is great news. The city receiving this grant from ODOT, and I mentioned in the staff report that we got to give a lot of credit to Kyle Jentz, our public works superintendent, and our city engineer, Gordon Monroe, for proposing this project that scored very high in this competitive process for these grant funds. And so if you approve this contract with the state, then that project will be budgeted along with the city's portion, and that'll get done next fiscal year. Kyle's here. You want to say a few words about the project, Kyle?
Certainly, I've had multiple
complaints, or I should say the department's had multiple complaints over the last several years regarding the condition of First Street between the blocks of Douglas through the intersection of Fur, including the way that the crown is of the road. There's cooling water in the middle of the road every time it rains. There's been some utility services installed that have settled, and just overall appearance of it. On top of the pavement being a little bit too narrow to adequately handle the traffic flow, especially during school drop-offs and pickups. So there'll be improvements to that drainage, as well as sidewalks and EDA ramps. Basically modernize that 2-block section, which would be great. Help ease access to the park that's in the area, and just all around be the betterment of the city.
Right on. Isn't it great when somebody complains that, well, we're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it, it's gonna be wonderful, and watch for that next year. Well, later this year, yeah.
And we don't anticipate having an issue budgeting the additional cost beyond what the grant allows.
Correct. Well, and we'll budget to make sure we take advantage of the bidding climate and all. And we budget for all the soft costs associated with that, in addition to construction. So, a project like this would probably have a budget about close to $500,000. Make sure we're covered for all of those contingencies.
So the estimated cost on here was done prior to knowing if we were going to get the grant?
Yes, the updated engineer's estimate the project to roughly 320,000. So working with the funds that the city already had, as well as anticipating that the grant in the amount of 250,000 brought us to that.
Okay.
Any further discussions? You can motion, please.
I move to approve the ODOT contract SCA 25-05 as authorized the mayor and interim city manager to execute.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote. Councilor Fernandez.
Aye.
Councilor Jadakitis.
Aye.
Council President Dana March.
Aye.
Councilor Wright.
Aye.
Councilor Rodriguez.
Aye.
So moved. Moving on to item number D, contract for audit services by Red W for fiscal year 2024 in the amount of $22,000.
So we just, earlier in the agenda, we talked about the fiscal year 2023 audit. And now we're gonna go to last year's audit, and that window to get this done really is probably early May. And so they will come back, when that work is complete, they will come back to the council and present their audit findings to the council. And I've been assured we're gonna get what we need to have good numbers for our budget process. So this contract keeps our place in line, and we'll pay, if it's approved, we'll pay the first installment tomorrow. And then the second installment comes when the work is complete. So unless there's any questions about the contract, I can say that it's the costs go up almost every year for audit and professional services. The contract expands every year. So it's pretty much the same as what I've seen, but it's just funny how everything expands. This is a contract. If I can't answer any questions on the contract, I will follow up and get you those.
Has council had a chance to read the packet? Any discussions with the council? We get a motion?
We'll do the heavy lifting tonight, I guess. I move to approve the contract with REDW to perform the fiscal year 2024 audit in the amount of $22,000 and authorize the mayor and interim city manager to execute the contract.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Go ahead and do the roll call again. Councilor Abby Fernandez.
Aye.
Councilor Jesse Geddes.
Aye.
Council President Diana Barge.
Aye.
Councilor Petra Wright.
Aye.
And Councilor Ryder Geddes.
Aye.
So moved.
I'm carrying Councilor Rodriguez.
Sorry, I was trying to speed this up since there's so much to do tonight. New action item was added was 8 Echo. This is now the council has set the budget committee meeting schedule. The attached is the budget calendar to JERS adopted budget for fiscal year 2026. As is customary among many cities, the council is asked to approve the budget calendar and appoint a budget officer for the fiscal year 2026 budget adoption process.
What we talked about last time.
You notice how that third meeting is offset a week, the May 12th, if needed. We talked about that.
Is this the 2026 budget process or the 2025?
Well, we're doing it now in 2025, but it's actually for the fiscal year 2026 budget. Because it goes from July 1st of this year and ends next year, June 30th. So you identify the fiscal year by year that you end. So it's kind of semantics. It's easy to get tripped up in the years. But we're going to hold budget meetings coming up in April for the fiscal year 2026 budget. I think it's July 1st.
Thank you for clarification. Does the council have any other discussions or questions?
I will move to approve the budget calendar as presented and appoint the interim city manager as the budget officer for the fiscal year 2026 budget adoption process.
We have a second.
A second.
Going straight into roll call. Councilor Abby Fernandez.
Aye.
Councilor Jesse Geddes.
Aye.
Council President Diana Barge.
Aye.
Councilor Petra Wright
Aye.
and Councilor Petra Geddes.
Aye.
So moved. Next item on the agenda is our staff reports. Anybody here are you going to represent the police department? Preston?
Yes. You have the statistic for the prior month in your packet. There's no narrative that goes with that, but if you have any questions, I'm happy to discuss that.
Any questions from the council? The police report? let's please move into the Public Works Department. Kyle?
I can keep it short here in the interest of time. It wasn't a lot of activity over the last year, which is nice. The wastewater treatment plant project, we're still experiencing some issues with the control panel. The recent news today, kind of going back and forth between the manufacturer and vendor who built the panel. So there's a lot going on in there. So hopefully we can get that wrapped up here within the next week or so, as the project completion date was scheduled for the 28th of February. So we're a little bit past that. Just we want to close it. The construction going on next door. Yesterday they did two 6-inch hop taps on there for the water supply, fire flow protection, which is basically their last connection to the city services. So be able to get the street repaved when they do the parking lot, which would be nice to complete that portion of it.
You know what their anticipated done date is?
Right off the top of your head, I don't. There's a lot of variables, getting the power, things still don't have the electricity installed. So that's kind of the biggest factor as far as how fast they can proceed. We had another meeting with the FEMA, regarding the tree farm and the ice storm back in 2021. I did give them a lot of information to sort through. They're still going through all that data, but they say we should be able to close that out soon. No anticipation of any kind of decisions in one way or the other financially, how that'll end up. But we'll keep you updated on that. And in the coming months here, with the better weather, we've got a couple of minor water repairs to do throughout the city, which would be nice. Be able to get the back trailer out and do some more training with the crew. That's it.
That's everything. Can we please move on to the check register?
We kind of came up with a format, a little better, clearer to read. And we didn't have time to kind of throw some descriptions on there. Many of them are self-evident, but I did provide description for a number of items that can help. We've got some ideas to make it a little better next month. But running this kind of activity, these amounts of checks, we can put them all on one page. Make it pretty clear for folks.
I have a question for the Kramer marketing. Is that advertising the interim position?
And which one is that? I'm sorry.
Just use it, street.
Oh, not sure. Laura, do you know which one?
I think it's when you posted the agendas. I think it's when you posted the agendas in the newspaper.
Okay. Yeah, we're moving toward the Woodburn Independent being our newspaper of record. We're going to do a lot more business and posting with them in the future. We'll still send the Salem paper, some courtesy copies of agendas and things, but we'll be looking at doing all of our official postings through the Woodburn Independent. And I have not met with the paper yet. We know their cycle and the needs, and their needs to get in their weekly edition and all that kind of thing. But I have not met with their staff yet to talk about different advertisings and things that we would expect to pay for. So we're building that relationship. And so those are some initial costs from this last week.
Thank you.
And I noticed a, amount on here for Jordan Ramis. Is that just back pay for what previous work done?
It's through January and that service is over. Yeah, that's the end of it.
Councilor, any more discussion on this? No? All right, let's please move on to the city manager.
Well, thanks, Your Honor. Just a couple things to report. Kyle might mention, but we got some bad news that our vendor for our hanging flower baskets is not doing that this year. And so Kyle and his group, we're gonna get some new baskets. A new vendor, and hopefully we're not too late on doing that. But it's nice to have a great vendor, and I can just imagine how beautiful it is. Along Douglas, along here, there's 28 beautiful hanging baskets. It's all fed through our drip system, so it's maintained well. That's great. It's just wonderful. And we're gonna do our best to get that going, absolutely. Okay, a couple other points, Your Honor. I wanted to pass out for your use. And we make this available in City Hall. This is our volunteer application form. And do note that it lists a few things on there that we don't have yet. We don't have a planning commission, okay? That's long term. But I've already got somebody that wants to apply. We're so inspired by the discussion last week that we have a person that, when the time comes, he would be very interested in the planning commission. And we keep these on file for when the time comes, and whether it be community events or budget committee or council, and they're on file, they're dated, very simple to fill out. And so use them, and
Is it available online?
We will put them on there, and somewhere there that you can find,
Okay.
on our website. It's kind of circling back to the budget committee. It sounds like we've got 5 lay members ready to go. So that leaves 1 seat that's kind of open. I'm not sure what you want to do about that. We still could hear from that person, possibly. So on the one hand, I'm thinking we go in with those 4 and maybe we'll get a 6. But if you want to do something different, we can help staff now. Okay.
Well, I'm wondering if we should maybe accept some applications for that 6th spot. And then, if the person we've been trying to contacts us, and then collect them for next, for the April council meeting. Does that work? And then make a decision at that point. And then if the person has reached out to us before then we can just cancel out those applications.
Well, you could do that. Kind of awkward if you gotta ask for applications and then not use them,
True. I just want to make sure that we have just in case somebody gets sick, the more people that we know are going to be there, then if somebody does get sick or something like that on the nights, we make sure we have enough showing up.
Well, never heard of appointing alternates. So if somebody can't make it, they can't make it. And then you deal with a smaller group. And there are quorum requirements for lay members and the council and probably won't be getting into all that, you know, but if you had 5 lay members there, that's pretty good. You know, that's
Yeah.
almost 100%, you know, that's pretty good. So,
President,
yes,
just a second ago, you talked with the planning commission and you said something along the lines of, if someone applies, if we keep it on file. So would it behoove someone if they want to join the budget committee to go ahead and fill out the application? If we have that room for them, we already have them on
You would.
file. And if we don't have them, we have them for if we need to recruit in the future. So I would recommend actually just going ahead and let them apply. Because it can't hurt, it can only help.
And then we have the numbers to call on if
Correct.
something happens.
yes. The generic idea of the community events is to leave it wide open and see what people's interests are. It could be something that actually pertains to a city-sponsored event, or maybe something going on in the community that we can say, hey, here's a person that's interested. And this is just an intake form. You know, this can trigger, parental consent forms if they're you. You know, there's a lot of things that can come up after an intake form. But it's real simple, and like Jesse said, those can just stay in the file and they're there for future reference and when we need them.
Are these gonna be available at the front office? Do they need to ask for them? Are they gonna be on the counter? So that if they just wanna come in and grab one, they could, or is it something they need to ask for?
Well, they're there, you know, and we can put them on our website. Throw them on the counter, something. You know, we've got bulletin board.
I wonder if we need to just put up maybe on the bulletin board rather than put one of these up. Just put a little sign that says interested in volunteering for the city, ask for a application, and then put it in both English and Spanish and put that up.
Russian.
And Russian, sorry, yes.
We can do that.
I think there's been an overabundance as of late of people wanting to be part of the city and be part of making decisions. So I think the more we open up to people being a part of that, the more inclusive it is. So I'm really appreciative.
Well, and then they don't need to specifically reach out to one of us to say, hey, I want to help. They can just.
Okay,
Real quick, will these applications, once they're in, be shared with the council, or will you just hold on to these? And then when something arises, will you let us know? Or will you let us actually see these when they come in?
well, the plan would be, they're just in the file until you need to fill spots, and then they become part of a council packet on people who have applied for certain positions.
Yeah, you have a community event on here, so if someone turns this in saying, I want to help with a community event, our biggest one coming up is the 4th of July.
Correct.
So this would need, if any community event, I guess Easter's first, sorry, we're having Easter first and then 4th of July, if there's anything
If
in town.
I recall correctly, our working session, we said we did not make a committee for those because we got too much bureaucratic red tape. And so it'd be more if we were gonna do a committee in the future, would it be first, might be in the future. Yeah,
No, I meant like if they bring these in saying that they wanted to do a community event.
So if
That'd
they
be
want
brought
to
to us
help
right
without
away.
having to be on a committee is, I think.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah, no, just like if they wanted to do something in the community, bring it to the council, or, I mean, a lot of the times it just needs to go through the manager.
but again, in that case, it wouldn't go through the whole council because we have control of the communities, yes.
Yeah, the only time it would come to council in a packet would be if you needed to make an appointment. And then you'll get the applicants in your packet. So Your Honor, the only thing else I would mention is we had, Rosetta from Love Eat and, Nancy, her treasurer, come by and meet with me and met staff and talked, and, it was really great. Cause they do such a great service for the city. And, they shared more of their brochures and other things, and I know they're gonna try and get plugged into different community events, get the word out about their services. We're gonna have more of their information available, at the counter for folks. And so, anyway, it was just really nice to have them come in and meet everybody, put a face to the name, and, it really is an important service they provide. That's all I have.
Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is the mayor or councilor reports. I have none myself. All right, well, guess what? It is 7:50. And we are needing to go into an executive session now. Yep.
Yeah, how was it? Yeah.
Yes.
I know, that's why I don't. Yes.
That's why I moved. I didn't move far enough.
Hey there, I've tried to get. Says it's waiting for others to join. Okay, well, I've tried 5 times. Okay. Okay.